Golfers, there is one swing thought that I hear more than anything else from golfers. It's blamed for top shots. It's blamed for chunk shots. It's blamed for when the ball slices. It's blamed for not hitting the ball far enough. What is this swing thought? I didn't keep my head down. You might have been told this before. You might tell it to other people. I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely flat out wrong. It could be the very one thing that's killing your golf game, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, now before you start yelling at your spouse, your parent, or your playing partner for giving you this swing tip, know that it does come from a good place, right? The theory is that if I hit the top of the golf ball or miss the ball altogether, then it must be because I lifted up, right? And that's what it started with, is this lifting up or standing up. But the problem is that the way that it starts to get interpreted by the golfer is by thinking in terms of staying down, keeping your eye on the ball, or keeping your head down. And inevitably, I'll start seeing golf swings that look something like this here. Very, very fake finish, okay? And that's the problem, right? Now, what do the best players do is their heads do stay still, okay? Their head stays centered, but it is without question rotating and turning towards the target. It is not trying to stay down at the golf ball. We are not trying to watch the club make contact with the golf ball. Okay, so although well-intentioned, this idea and swing thought of keeping your head down actually causes a lot more issues than it does solve problems. The first issue that I see from players that do this is it locks in their body. And as you notice, if I really try to focus on keeping my eye down on the ball, keeping my head down, okay, notice what happens. When my head tries to stay down, very oftentimes the body will also freeze as a result. And then for the problem is with the golfer that tops the golf ball anyway, that actually makes things worse because it forces them to have to start to bend their arms to try to control the speed of this golf club. So they'll come in here, okay, and they'll start looking something like this. Their body will be completely frozen, okay? And that's the first issue that I'll see with the keeping the head down, is that it actually starts to make the arm bending a lot worse in the golf swing. Golfers, are you looking to improve but have no idea where to begin? I've got you covered. Click below and download my free Breakthrough Golf Playbook. That's going to give you everything you need to get you shooting lower scores right away. Okay, so second issue I will see with the swing thought and the idea of trying to keep the head down is that it will tend to move the bottom of the swing, the low point, behind the golf ball. And we know if we do that, we're going to hit terrible golf shots. We're going to hit chunks. We're going to hit thin shots. We're going to get the whole thing. Now, why is that? Is because, again, same thing. As I come in and I think about keeping my head down or keeping my head back, I'm going to be very prone to having too much weight on my back foot. And if I have too much weight on my back foot and I'm not moving forward enough, I'm going to hit the ground before the golf ball. Okay, so that's the second issue that I'll see. Hitting the ground before the golf ball, moving the low point back in the swing. Okay, the third issue that is caused by this keeping their head down is going to be really a lack of power and really just being very, very tense in the golf swing. Okay, again, if I'm thinking in terms of keeping my head down, okay, notice what that looked like. Yeah, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not as much because I'm sure you see swings like that on the range as well. When I'm keeping my head down, my body again is stopping and freezing, and my whole body is going to start to be very, very tense. Okay, if we've got lots of tension in our golf swing, we're not going to be able to hit the ball as far as we'd like to. We're also not going to be able to hit the ball as solid as we want. Okay, so you've probably heard though on TV, well, yeah, but the announcers talk about keeping the head down through the strike. Again, maybe, maybe not, but watch carefully the next time you hear that on TV. I will be willing to bet that, yes, even if their head is looking still back here, their body is moving towards the target, okay? The problem with most golfers is that when they keep their head down, most golfers will then freeze the rest of their body, okay? So we absolutely don't want to be thinking about keeping the head down, so what should we be thinking of instead? And as we look back, as I tell people, back in the early 1990s, or actually, sorry, in the late 1990s, the two #1 players in the world were Annika Sorenstam for the women and David Duval for the men. Annika actually had a drill, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, with her coach that she would do, where she would actually look at the target before she hit the golf ball. It started as a drill for her, and it actually turned into her actual swing. Okay, and you'll see here, she's literally looking down the fairway before she hit the golf ball, and she arguably, and I think very well still is, considered to be the best women's golfer of all time. David Duval got to #1 in the world when Tiger was healthy and at his peak. Tells you how good of a golfer he was in his prime. And as you look at his swing, he had the glasses on, so his eyes were actually probably looking at the golf ball, but notice how much head rotation he actually had coming in. And when his head rotated, his shoulders, his hips, his whole body could then move towards the target, okay? So what are some drills we can do? If this is your issue, if you find yourself having a very, very hard time looking at the target and too much time looking at the golf ball, the first is going to be this Annika drill, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to swing the club back with a little pause, and before you start to come down, I actually want you to look out towards the target before you hit the golf ball. So it's going to look like so. So we'll take the swing here. I swing the club back. We'll do a practice swing here first. I swing it back to the top, and before I even go, I'm just going to let myself start looking out towards the target, right? So hit one here, swing back, stop, okay. And as you look where my head was before I even hit that golf ball. And again, what's the purpose of this? A couple things. What you're going to start to feel is that you've got a lot more momentum going towards the target, and that's the first thing that you need, okay? Got to make sure we feel our body moving towards the target. We've got to move the weight there. So I'll swing the club back, come to a stop. Okay, and what you'll also probably notice and feel is that you've got a really nice balanced finish. Okay, so again, we'll do one more here. Again, you're going to bring the club back to the top of your swing, and then like Annika, you're actually going to start looking towards the target before you even get to the golf ball, right? And you can see as I do that here, you're going to feel your whole body start to get pulled towards the target. That's what we're looking for. So here we go. Good old Annika, swing it back to the top, come to stop, and start looking down the fairway before you hit your golf ball. Okay, so we've got the Annika drill, but now we got to start taking this to the golf course. And I'm not actually going to look at the target because I'm going to be afraid of actually missing the golf ball. So what's something we can do to kind of make that transition? And what I'm going to have you do is pick up what we call an intermediate target. So I've got my golf ball here, and all I'm going to do is place, I've got this coin here, is place something out about 2 or 3 feet out in front of me, okay? Now, one, we use that intermediate target a lot of times to set the club face. The way I want you to use it here is to think in terms of as you come into the golf ball, I want you now feeling like you're looking out at that coin there. And if I do that, I'll still be able to see this golf ball out of my peripheral vision. So we're just slowly starting to back up that actual feeling of looking towards the target, okay? So again, we'll do a full swing here, and my focus is right there. This ball's gonna get in the way. I'm thinking of looking somewhere out here. Okay, got one again. Okay, so here we are. Again, I got my ball here, but my focus is gonna be somewhere out here in front of the golf ball, not down here at the actual golf ball. So I'm looking out towards there. There's my focus. Okay, and you can see as I do that, there's no stopping down at the golf ball, okay? There's no thinking about hitting the golf ball. That golf ball is simply going to get in the way. For the golfer that's trying to keep their head down, that's not a feeling that you probably know and probably recognize. So again, here we are. We've got our intermediate target. Looking right there. Okay, again, notice my finish, right? My body's facing the target, and it's not a fake finish like this where we get to club over the shoulder and then we go ahead and rotate. Everything is moving together, okay? My body and my club are really moving as one as I come through the golf ball, okay? Let's do one last shot here. So again, there's my focus. When I'm thinking there, my low point gets moved forward. My arms now can start to be straighter, okay? That's what we're looking for. Not trying to stay down, not worrying about hitting the golf ball. You want to feel like you're swinging through the golf ball, not at the golf ball. So here we are. Again, there's my focus, that intermediate target. Okay, and that's what we are looking for. Golfers, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to work with me, you can do so at Holly Ridge Golf Club on Cape Cod, or if you prefer, we can also do so online using the Skillest app. You'll see links to both of those in the comments below. If there's anything you would like to see in future videos, please make sure you mention it in the comments, and also give these drills a try. Let me know if you've been struggling with years and years of trying to keep your head down, and hopefully after you watch this, you will be freed from that unnecessary burden. Thanks again for joining me, and look forward to seeing you again next time.